UFC 316 is at the Prudential Center in New Jersey, June 7th. And the main event is Merab versus Suga Sean O'Malley.
Suga Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili 2 just got announced for UFC 316. And I think that unfortunately, our boy Suga Sean O'Malley, I think he's absolutely cooked in this matchup. I think he'll lose again badly. And I think that his career as a superstar and as a champion in this division, I think those days are over. And unfortunately, I think that Suga Sean O'Malley is about to take a very serious career decline from this point moving forward. Like I said, he's about to fight Merab. Merab wins this matchup 1,000 out of 1,000 times. We saw what happened in the first fight. Yeah, it was a little bit close. Sean was able to snag the 5th round and did okay in some of the rounds. Don't get me wrong, it was decently competitive, but Suga Sean O'Malley's not going to win that fight. He's not going to KO Merab. Maybe he'll have moments, but Merab's just too much of a dog. He has way too much grit. His grappling is just too OP. And Suga Sean O'Malley literally just doesn't have any chance other than a first round fluke knockout. And that's not going to happen. And don't get me wrong, I literally picked Suga Sean O'Malley by KO in the first fight. But I have realized since then that that was an absolutely terrible pick. I mean, this dude was texting fucking Hawk Tua before that fight.
UFC fighter, right?
Yes.
What is that fella's name that's been messaging me all week? The O'Malley boy.
Sean?
Suga Sean?
He has a kid, don't he? When he first DM me, I had 5 missed calls from him, and I was like, "What the
He's
fuck?"
calling you?
Yeah, on Instagram. I didn't even know you could fucking do.
And he's getting in there with these guys that are absolutely stone cold, ice cold killers, and he expects to stand a chance. I just don't think Suga Sean O'Malley has it in him anymore. I really don't. On the come up, he was able to get away with it with his natural talent and everything like that, but the dude's constantly traveling. He's constantly distracted, shooting commercials for fucking prize picks and, going on the fucking pod with fucking Timbo and chilling with the Full Send guys. I think there's just too many distractions at this point in his career, and it's kind of hindered his fighting ability. I don't think he takes his training as seriously now, which is unfortunately because he's one of the most talented fighters in the entire sport, but I really do believe that's the case with Sean O'Malley now. Merab Dvalishvili 100% will beat Suga Sean O'Malley again in the rematch via decision, and it's going to be the exact same as the first fight. Suga Sean O'Malley loses. At that point, he's going to be on a 2-fight loss streak. Who's he going to fight after that? Well, you have to put him in a main card spot or a co-main spot. It has to be a big fight. Who else has name value in that division? He's either going to have to fight Peter Yan for 5 rounds, or he's going to have to fight Umar Nurmagomedov. Umar Nurmagomedov would absolutely twist Suga Sean O'Malley into a pretzel and finish him easily. Pigs would fly through the sky before Suga Sean O'Malley would be able to beat Umar Nurmagomedov. And I think that Peter Yan would be able to beat him in a 5-rounder. Let's not forget that Suga Sean O'Malley, yeah, he made it close enough to where they were able to give him a robbery, but make no mistake about it, Suga Sean O'Malley lost that fight versus Peter Yan in their first outing. And look, the only reason Suga Sean even had a chance in that matchup was because it was 3 rounds. If he's in a 5-round contest against Peter Yan, he's going to get sent packing. Peter Yan's going to make the adjustments. He's going to have more time to work. 5 rounds only favors Yan, and Yan's been looking good recently. And Suga Sean O'Malley, he's coming in off of a surgery. He was injured in that first fight with Merab. That is just another thing that's going to hinder his chances to do well in that fight and win. And look, I think that it's very realistic. We see Suga Sean O'Malley go on a 4-fight losing streak. Loses to Merab the first time at the Sphere. He will lose to Merab at UFC 316. He'll probably fight Umar after that. Umar beats him every single day of the week, twice on Saturday on pay-per-view. Peter Yan for 5 rounds. He's got a chance. He's got a chance versus Yan. But I think that 5 rounds, like I said, Jan makes the adjustments. He arguably won the first fight anyway. I think he's the more well-rounded, better fighter overall. Suga Sean Malley did have a good performance in the first fight, but I think over the course of 5 rounds, Peter Yan would end up getting a pretty clear decision against Suga Sean Malley. So, you know, I really do think that it's very, very likely we see Suga Sean Malley go on a 4-fight losing streak and really fall off a cliff. I mean, you know, you look back last year when he beat Aljo, when he beat Chito Vera, he was on top of the world, you know, the Suga Show, man. He finally, you know, achieved his dreams. He had defended his belt. But I think now he's facing a level of competition and stylistic matchups that are really bad for him, especially with Dvalishvili and Nurmagomedov. He can't win those matchups. It's not possible for him to. And he has a chance against Yan in their rematch, but I genuinely believe he goes on a 4-fight losing skid. And, you know, he's eventually just going to be another one of the boys at bantamweight at this point. I don't think that Suga Sean O'Malley will ever get the belt back, unfortunately. And once he takes those 4 losses, maybe he's still 5th or 6th ranked in the division at the time, but who knows? We're going to have some young up-and-comers breaking into the top 5, into the top 10 at that point. Suga Sean O'Malley, you know, he'll be 33-ish at that point, getting towards the end of his prime. He's had injuries throughout his career, even though he's still, you know, on the right side of 30. He's had a bunch of injuries throughout his career. He's very injury prone. You know, you remember the foot injury. He's constantly having to get, you know, hip surgeries and shit like that. Like after the Merab fight, I believe he tore his labrum or something along these lines. I think Suga Sean O'Malley's cooked, and it's sad for me to say because I like Suga Sean. I think his fight style is very entertaining. I, you know, really wanted him to do well when he was coming up. I was happy that he got the belt over Aljamain Sterling. But another reason why I think this is going to happen is because, unfortunately, Suga Sean O'Malley was rushed to the top of the division, and I kind of think that his fight versus Aljamain Sterling was a little bit fluky looking back on it, because he just has not done well in any other matchup where he's faced adversity and faced grappling other than the Aljamain Sterling fight. You know, he was able to land the lucky shot, but make no mistake, don't forget that Aljamain Sterling did take that fight on a very short turnaround. He was a little bit handicapped in that fight. Suga was going in there fresh, and you know, he only got the title fight because he robbed Yan, lost that matchup. He had a no contest versus Pedro Munoz. He really did get rushed to the top. And now, looking back at his career, it's kind of sad to see, because I think it's going to come back and bite him in the ass over the next few years of his career. Like I said, he's going to lose to Merab. He's going to lose to Umar. He's going to lose to Peter over the course of 5. And, you know, who's he going to fight at that point? Song Yadong? We were thinking about Suga Sean O'Malley fighting Topuria for double champ status. You know, fighting Umar for the title, defending the belt versus Umar, kind of like Conor versus Khabib 2.0. It's not going to happen. It's just simply not going to happen, you know. I think it's going to be a very, very sad career downfall for Suga Sean O'Malley. And like I said, it's sad because I do enjoy his style. I do like him as a fighter. But his days as a superstar, as a champion, as the person we thought he was, I think they're over.